Hello, beautiful people, kings and queens. Welcome to the Exceed Real Vibe podcast, where we have real and honest conversations across entrepreneurship, personal growth, leadership, money, everyday realities of life, all in the context of family and business. I am your host, Jennifer Igwe, aka the Content Queen. Today we have a very interesting and timely topic. It is the project called You. Yes, I mean you watching this very podcast today. We have a delectable personality with us here today to delve deep into this conversation. He is a seasoned leadership strategist, a business development driver, and organizational growth architect with over 23 years of experience spanning across industries like finance, health, and lots more. Guys, his profile is so long. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Aniekan Usoroh. Drummers. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. Was I right with that name, by the way?
Yeah, pretty much. You tried.
Oh.
So I'll give you 50 cents for that.
50?
Inflation.
I don't try now.
There's inflation.
How does inflation rate my pronunciation? Guys, can you see?
That's why you get 50 cents.
Anyways, thank you so much for coming. We're so happy to have you here. Pleasure's
mine. Absolutely delighted to be here.
Guys, I have to maintain my steez so I don't lose guard. This man is awesome. Okay. Breathe in, out. We are so happy to have you in our midst today. So please, my audience wants to meet you. Who is this man that's about to blow their mind today? Can we meet you, please?
Okay, so I don't know about blowing your mind though, but really, what am I think it's one of the biggest questions that I ever had to ask myself.
Okay.
Many people know me as some prolific speaker. I don't know about that. A lot of people say I'm a business development driver. Yes, by skills and competence. Yes, maybe. A lot of people say I'm an organizational growth architect. That happens by way of experience and all of that. Yeah. A lot of people say that I'm a leadership strategist. I guess life also has bestowed that upon me. But I think the best way that I describe myself is in three ways. I'm simply a light, a voice, and a bridge. And that's the way that I see. That's who I am. That's who I be. And it's accumulation of what I do and who I am. And so when what I do and how I do what I do is in fusion with who I am, then that's who I am.
So you're tripartite, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of like God, right?
God the Father, God the Son.
There you go. Wow. Another 50 cents for you. See, now you have a dollar. Now you have a dollar.
God.
Anything.
All right. So let's delve deep into what we have today. And this topic is very, very, very vital. Somehow I feel that someone will cry watching this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel someone will be so emotional and start, thinking about a lot of things about themselves. Yeah. Our topic is the project called You. And it's all about you as a person, born on earth here for a purpose, which some of us know and some of us don't know why. And now we have someone here in our midst today that is going to help us demystify a whole lot of things. So I'm beginning by asking you, sir, you, why you? Are we really projects? Am I a project? Are you a project?
Well, see, it's interesting that you're starting that way because the truth of the matter is that life in itself is a culmination of projects. And when you think about a project, the project stands on three deliverables, a tripod of scope, time, and cost.
Okay.
And so many people pay attention to projects at the workplace. Many people pay attention to school projects, as we're all very familiar with. Many people pay attention to building projects, as we're all very familiar with. But a lot of people don't realize that the most important long-term project that they have to be able to make other projects be successful is themselves. And I say this, I've said this for a long time, that the greatest hindrance that you have to you is you. And if you don't understand that you're a project that requires managing, that requires retuning, that requires upgrading, that has a scope, meaning that, and scope here speaks of your vision and what exactly it is you want to achieve. Cost means what sacrifices, not just financial or monetary, what sacrifices are you willing to make for the scope that you have. And time simply speaks of the time allocated, the time periodic allocated to the different things that you have to do in life. And of course, in totality, the the extent of your life on earth. So when you think about it that way, you realize that we are more than anything. We are projects, and your inability to pay attention to the project, you as a project, will hamper and hinder your ability to be able to function successfully in life. So take, for example, Jenny, when we talk of scope speaks to what exactly you want to do in life. So let's make it very simple. What exactly do you want to be in life? So at a particular point, you're all grown up, and then you say, look, I want to be this in life. I want to have this level of impact. And it's not necessarily about the type of job or vocation that you have. It's because all those are just tools leading to and part of your scope. So think about it. You have scope. You have that long-term dream, that vision. But then again, you ask yourself, what will it cost me to be able to get there? How many degrees do I need? How many skills do I need? What level of competence do I need? What level of capacity do I need, right? And while competence speaks to skills, capacity speaks to systems and structures. So you're saying to yourself, and when you're talking of systems and structures, you're now asking yourself, what kind of network do I need? What kind of friends do I need to have? What kind of people do I need to be rolling with? What kind of people do I need to be exposed to? And what kind of people need to be exposed to me? Now, all that is cited in scope and cost. And then now you're asking yourself, if it was just about scope and cost alone, Jen, then it won't be so much of a problem. Now, the real issue is you have to do all of that within a time. Now there's a problem. Because if we have 1,000 years to live, then maybe we could achieve anything that we wanted to. If we had 200 years to live, maybe we could, but we don't, right? We don't. We do like 100 years, 99, 120. If your family is not begging for you to go, so we don't have time. It means that the entire concept of scope, cost, and time as a project, now with relation to the individual being you, has now to be balanced and managed to deliver the best outcome. So the concept of seeing yourself as a project, I believe, and I believe for many years, is extremely critical to how well you thrive in life.
Wow, he's already saying a lot.
Well, that was a lot?
Yes, that is a lot, actually. For some persons, right, they tend to understand this thing about themselves late. There's this age they tend to get to, then as if their mind is open, like, I'm supposed to be somebody in life, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. So tell us now, for some people, maybe you are 15 years, you are 20, and you're watching this podcast, or you are 60, maybe, and you feel like, okay, my time has passed. When we feel like, I'm too young. You understand? So can you just tell us, is there like an age bracket for this?
I personally don't think it's a function of age. I think it's more of a function of understanding. It's an awareness that you come to.
Yes, awareness.
And that awareness usually comes about when you begin to ask yourself questions. And really, questions for me are like an opener to everything in life. The better the questions you ask, the better the answers you get. The answers you get are what you can now work on that produces results. So if you, for example, have clarity as regards to what questions you have to ask, then you're now able to bring everything about you in alignment with the answers that you get out of that question. When you're in alignment with the answers that you get out of that question, then you're able to now develop a strategy, build plans, execute actions that deliver the kind of results that you want in life. So it's really from the place of, and for a lot of people, they do discover early, and it's good because, again, the nature of what you're exposed to, if you're in an enabling environment, Jen, that allows you to think. I think one of the biggest issues, and I say this with a lot of love and apologies to everybody, is that we as human beings don't think enough. I personally believe that if you think well enough and hard enough about a situation, you find a solution to it. So I think we don't think enough. We are very passive. We are very good at following instructions, but we are not co-creators. And that's why you have co-creators that are thriving all over the world. And so I'm saying here that the more people that begin to think, right, that's where it starts from. The more you think about really what's going on, why am I here? Well, what can I make out of all of this? That's when the essence and the question of purpose, becomes revealed to you. It's always been there. It's not, you don't get a purpose at 15. It's actually predestinated for you. And once you have that alignment of purpose and every other thing that you have, skill, talent, personality, and all of that together, then you're on the right direction. It's more of people just realizing that, whatever it is, they say when you wake up this morning, that's exactly what it is. Is for some people is at the age of 10. For some, it's at the age of 40. And for some, it's at the age of 50. Bottom line is that you always discover that what you make of the future will eliminate whatever it is that you didn't make use of the past. So whenever it is that you wake up, it's better that you wake up early.
Yeah.
But if you do wake up later, please make the most of it. Because this is important to say, because a lot of people will feel under pressure, like, oh, I haven't done this by.
Okay.
No, life isn't measured in time, it's measured in milestones. So as long as you start working today and wake up today, then maybe in another 5 years you can arrive at some significant place. It doesn't matter whether you got there at age 55 or age 45. Yes, there are consequences to it, but the goal is realizing that there's something that you ought to do. Right? And that's the place of purpose and understanding your purpose.
And then making progress.
Yeah, and making progress. Progress just comes from, look, listen, progress is a series of events that deliver a result. But that series of events must be hinged on an understanding. What's that understanding? The clarity of your vision. Get that? And how does that happen? It comes by way of alignment. I think the most important buzzword this year should be alignment. I think that's something that should be on the lips of everybody.
I was actually going to say something about that.
Yeah.
You know, talking about alignment, of vision, of purpose, of who you are. How do people get to that point where they have that hunger, or they know that they need to be aligned, in alignment to whatever? How do they even wake up one morning and say, oh, I need to be in alignment with this, with who I am? Does it just come upon them, or is it something that propels it?
No, it doesn't. I've mentioned for a while that it will happen when you're tired enough of where you are. As long as you're not tired, you're okay.
And the funny thing is, some people don't actually get tired of it.
Yeah, that's also because, see, I was having a conversation with someone day before yesterday, and I was saying we were complaining about a staff. And I was saying that, look, from what I see of that person doesn't have any big dreams for themselves. So you see, this push you're trying to push that person is not going to work, because the person doesn't even see himself achieving anything.
Some people believe that personal development is a luxury, while some believe it's a necessity. So now I want to know, either ways, is there a role that personal development plays in this whole project called You thing? Or are people just exaggerating it? Oh, go for personal development, grow, and all that. Tell us a little about it.
Okay, so to answer that question, right, there are two very famous statements that people know me by. One is that you're wired to win. Two is that you're equipped to excel. So the question that comes out of that, if you notice, I ask a lot of questions. The question that comes out of that is, if you're truly wired to win, and yes you are, but do you even know what winning looks like? If you're equipped to excel, do you know what equipments you have? And even if you know what equipments you have, do you know how to use those equipments? How to use those equipments in a way that you don't hurt yourself and you excel, right? I learned something from a game of golf. There's a concept in golf called GPS.
GPS.
It's an acronym that stands for grip, posture, and swing. And those are like basics. If you don't know how to grip the golf stick properly, then you're going to have problems with your posture. If you don't have the right posture, you're going to injure yourself, literally hurt your back, and you will not be able to take the right swing. If you don't take the right swing, you're not going to be able to do beyond a hole, talk less of 18 holes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in essence, personal development is not just important, it is life. It is the only way that you can fulfill purpose. It's the only way you can get to the vision. It's the only way you can be a solution provider. It's the only way that you can deliver what it is that your life's assignment is. So it's not a function of luxury. It's not a function of easiness. It's essence. It's pivotal. It's priority. And by definition, a priority is not what is great. A priority is not what is good. A priority is what you can't do without. So in other words, you can't do without personal development. It's just absolutely sacrosanct to your existence.
Wow. You can't do without personal development. In case you're part of those that have that mindset, let me just plan, investors right, and then you want to execute without learning to grow into what you're envisioning. You have to have everything. And now that leads us to the next conversation. People talk about goals. We are still in the first quarter of the year. Some people are still planning their goals, or some have already. In most cases, people don't tend to achieve their goals, and some persons have given up. This year comes in, they're like, the one I write last year, I didn't get to meet up. So what am I writing? Why am I writing new ones? Is it that it is wrong to write goals, or are people just writing the wrong goals?
Okay, so I think that's a really awesome question, Jen. It's not like you're not been asking me awesome questions all along, but this is like really, really the real awesome question. Yeah. Now the answer to it is this. So I did something last year. Let me tell you about it, right? A couple of my corporate clients, when we had retreats and all of that, a number of them have had retreats this year, right? And one thing I said to them was write a letter. And the letter is called a memo to 2026. So we did it for some people at the end of last year, for some people at the beginning of this year. So write a letter to 2026. Okay. And in that letter, tell 2026 anything you want to tell 2026. In other words, what I was doing was a reimagined way of goal setting. And so, people wrote and they were all writing. In fact, some were even asking for extra sheets because they had a lot to say to 2026. Okay. This year, I don't want issues. Somebody said this year, I want soft life, whatever that means. This year, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that. And I had no problem with it. And I'm answering both your questions at the same time. So it's important to have goals because goals will give you direction. And without direction, there can be no focus. Okay. And if you don't have focus, you can't achieve anything. So goals are important. Goals also help you measure because what you don't measure doesn't exist. Goals give you a pathway that you're following through. It's important. But you see, the real reason why a lot of people struggle with goals, and this cuts across anybody, anywhere on the face of the earth, the real issue why people struggle with goals is because of misalignment. Now, I said earlier that the buzzword for the year for everyone should be alignment. And the reason why I said that is because a lot of people have goals. So you have goals, but your habits don't align. Your time doesn't align. Your money doesn't align. Your mindset, mentality doesn't align. Your idiosyncrasies don't align. So how are you going to ever achieve it? You're not going to achieve it. So you abandon it because there isn't an alignment. Misalignment creates distrust. It creates frustration, which brings about disbelief, which brings about lack of will, and lack of will produce discontinuation. So once you have a discontinuation, what happens is you don't believe enough in your goals. You wrote them down from your heart. Imagine if my goal was to lose 10 kg. Now that's not my goal, obviously, because I don't need to lose 10 kg. Just saying. But imagine my goal was to lose 10 kg. Okay. And then I'm in Burger King every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm having some pizza organization, shop, pizza shop, all the things that I'm having all that like every day. Well, you mentioned it, Jen. That's how I know that you know them. So you're having that every single day. I'm not exercising. I'm not sleeping early. I'm sleeping at 2 a.m. I'm waking up at 4:30 a.m. I am driving. I'm sitting in my seat in the office all day. I don't climb the stairs. I use the elevator. I binge snack on the couch and watch Netflix all weekend, all through Sunday, and then Monday. And then how's it going to happen? Yes, I have a goal to lose 10 kg, but there's nothing in my habits. There's nothing in my mentality. There's nothing in my ideology. My philosophy of life is not in alignment with my goal. So it doesn't happen. My goal is not a wish. It's a result and outcome of carefully curated systemic work. So when people start something in January and by July they're done and can't keep up, it's because they don't believe enough in it. Yeah. They don't believe enough in it. Is it priority? And I gave you a definition of priority earlier. I said it's what you can't do without. So if you truly believe that you can't do without it, why won't you align with it?
Let's talk about some group of people in this category. They're already in alignment. They already know what they want out of life, and maybe at some point that still the result is not showing up. What can you say to such people? I know they are watching us right now.
So if we went back to the tripod analogy that I gave, the three components of projects, right? And three, namely a scope, cost, and time, right? And I said that they have a very high interdependent relationship. The dependency level is very high. Okay. Now, what that means is, so you ask yourself, the question that I will ask is, how much of your scope? First of all, which of it is priority? If cost is what is priority to you, that means that your cost will determine what scope you get. Okay. If time is what is priority to you, I must do this by by age 30. I must do that by age 40. So whether you're ready or not, you try to get it done. But if scope is what is important, and that's really should be what is important to everyone, then you'll find a creative way to be able to generate the cost, meet the cost, pay the sacrifice, pay the cost to be able to deliver the scope. Why? Because the scope in your mind is non-negotiable, is not sacrosanct. Now, what happens in this instance when people have done stuff and they're not getting results? The question to ask is, do you believe enough in what you're going after?
Okay.
Because you have to believe enough in something to keep going at it, even when it doesn't look like it's yielding the kind of results it should yield. A lot of people don't believe enough in what they're pursuing. Why? Because they probably don't understand where they're going to. When you don't understand where you're going to, there's a challenge, because you know what? The stickability, the staying power, the tenacity, the resilience that you need to get through life, you won't have it. So I don't blame people. I don't say people are weak. I simply say they don't understand. You don't understand enough. That's why you walk out of a relationship, or you walk out of a business, or you stop pursuing a client just because he did not pick your phone calls 3 times, or just because you applied for a job or a contract and you didn't get it over a period of 4 years. It means you're giving up. No. The question is, do you believe enough that you're qualified and you have the capacity to be able to deliver a solution that will be respected and valued by people? If so, keep at it. So fix your understanding of your scope, and then you'll be able to find ways to work around your cost and time. And I hope that answers that.
Perfectly. Absolutely. It does answer it. So the thing is, the cost shouldn't be the forefront.
It shouldn't be, because if cost is ever what we're prioritizing, it will mean that the day I don't have enough, I don't have to be excellent.
Okay.
And it's not just about monetary terms, it's about the sacrifice. Oh, you know what? I can't stress myself. So every time you hear somebody say, I can't stress myself, the cost is their priority. Because if delivering or having an excellent outcome was priority, you will stress yourself.
Stress themselves.
You will go the extra length. If the key is to deliver this podcast excellently, no matter how many edits you have to do, you will do it.
Right.
If the key is to deliver any kind of podcast in 30 minutes, you have it ready.
For someone that is just wondering, feeling lost, like, where do I even begin? Okay, I'm a project. I don't even know the points I am. Am I in the foundation level? Am I in the roofing level? Am I in the renovation level? They don't even know where they are. Maybe they know and they don't know how to navigate it. What can you say to such a person? There is someone that is lost somewhere, wandering around, that needs to be found. What can we say to them? There is sheep without a shepherd.
So I'm going to say this to, that kind of person or kind of individual. You need to ask the right questions. I always say that the questions will come in 3 ways. Questions that ask who you are in regards to your identity, questions that ask with regards to your purpose, and the questions that ask with regards to your long-term intention or your visioning. Once you're able to understand who you are in the scheme of things, then you'll be able to now get other answers in other areas, and then you'll be able to now build action around the answers that you get. So you always be one step, but the one step will start from the place of asking yourself questions that you're going to give brutal, honest answers to. So it all comes from the place of you. It's the project called you. It is you that needs the attention. Pay the attention. Find out about you to know the best way to use you to get you the best results. And I'm going to say that one more time. Know enough about you to be able to use you to get the best results for you.
Let's sound a bit spiritual right now.
A lot spiritual.
Oh, a lot spiritual. Where does the God factor come in, please?
Absolutely. The God factor is everything, because you must know that He's the source and we're just resources. And because we're resources, then we find our identity, our ownership, the congruence of our purpose, which, by the way, is predestinated or given unto us. So the vision that we have for life that we're trying to meet up to is a question and a function of the purpose that we have. So the assignment that you have is a fallout of the purpose that you have. And who gives you that assignment? The one that gives you the purpose. That's God. That's why in life you'll find out there are 2 things that we must pay attention to. One is effective success. The second is defective success. And effective success is when you are doing everything that your assignment required of you and you're successful in it. Defective success is when you are doing everything that is not necessary for your assignment. So you are good good at what you are not asked to do. So
does that have any reward?
Well, the truth is that men may clap for you, but at the end of the day, you don't get prize. Your legacy isn't written. You haven't fulfilled. The people you were supposed to impact as a light, a voice, and a bridge, the people that you were supposed to benefit from your existence here on earth don't benefit from it, because guess what? You were not at the right place. It's like being in school and then you are registered for a course and then you go to another course and you sit down there, do all the classes, do all the assignments, pass the exam, 102 over 100. But guess what? Your name is not on that list. Your name is here and you have zero for it. So a lot of people have defective success.
Okay. So I think that's where the progress comes in. You remember I mentioned progress and you took it back to alignment.
Yeah.
Because if you're making progress that is out of the alignment,
it's a problem. That's why the clarity of the vision is sacrosanct. Okay. And what now enables you to go through the progress that delivers the results is the alignment. Right? So get understanding, but then there must be alignment, a congruence of who you are with what you do.
Yeah, this topic is a very vast one.
Absolutely.
So not something you can finish, in one episode. So we might likely have another series of it, because I believe there's a place for mentorship, there's a place for discipline, habits, savings, invest, all these things that makes up the project called you. So something will just wrap up, So I think we'll have to give it another series, because some people might not be so satisfied with everything we've said. Some have gotten a foundation by which they can begin something. For a fact that that you need to ask about you. You are a project, more than the house you're building or you intend to build. You are the first project.
True.
And I know somebody will say that the best investment you can make on earth, number one, aside of other things, you are the first investment. Exactly. Because investing in yourself will now give birth to other channels, other investments.
There you go.
In properties and family, marriage, career, and all that.
You say it way better than I do.
I don't, sir.
You do, but you just did.
All due respect, I don't, sir. I hide behind the cross. Please. So thank you so much, sir. And before we leave, I want you to tell us something. If you had to talk to your younger self, in maybe 2 sentences, 3 or 4, what will you tell your younger self?
It doesn't even need 3 sentences. It's just that you have all it takes to be everything you want. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. You have everything. You're wired to win. You're equipped to excel. Don't hold back. You have all it takes to win. You have all it takes to be successful. Thank you so very much, sir. So what do we owe this wisdom? This bowl and ocean of wisdom that has been poured into us. We hope to have you another time in this podcast. My pleasure. Is it yes? My pleasure. Is it yes? Wow.